Hi, would you like to introduce yourself and the organization you're representing today?
Hi, I'm Abhilash Gopal. I'm representing Inspirit Learning Incorporated. I represent the product and engineering in the entire organization. The organization, provides a platform for augmented reality and virtual reality. Providing content, in the field of STEM for K-12 as well as CTE. For the I would say entire catalog that we actually have for the students. But the key focus is actually to just build a universal platform for both AR and VR, any content provider to come on board to actually, just be a part of the ecosystem in terms of delivering the content to kids across the globe.
All right, makes sense. So you're an Internet 2.0 Conference Dubai honoree. So how does it feel to be recognized for all your accomplishments?
To be very honest, it's a humbling experience, right? So because it's quite interesting because I've worked in the industry for like so many years, but to be even referred to a platform such as this, it's quite humbling. To take a look at around the other delegates that you pretty much have who are a part of this conference, and then put yourself amidst whoever they are, whatever they've accomplished. It's a truly humbling experience.
That sounds amazing to hear. Humbling is, I think, not a word many would use, but it sounds great. What advice do you have for anybody young who just wants to be in your shoes, who wants to follow your pathing?
Fair enough. I'm 34. I consider myself young enough. if there's if there's anybody younger to me, all I'd say is start dreaming early on. It's very important. It's very easy to say follow your dreams, but it's equally important to start dreaming early on. Like I got into the field of programming when I was 12 years old. I would actually say I have 22 years of experience, but nobody would really believe that because I barely have like half of it in terms of the industry experience. But that's pretty much where I can sort of like differ out, because when you start dreaming on early, you start working on it a lot more earlier. So that's pretty much how it works.
Okay, that's great advice, I'd say. How are you finding the conference, Internet Conference 2.0 Dubai so far? How has it been? How's the learning? How's the networking?
Right. Yeah, it's actually good that you put it into two different verticals of learning and networking. Right now, networking, the good thing is, folks are pretty much down to earth. You just look at them, smile at them, you start bonding right over, right? And there are a lot of common attributes that you can actually gel well over. There are a lot of matching frequencies as well. And the good thing is, with internet and marketing going on side by side, you actually find a lot more people, who are pretty much in the same frequency zone as you are. So networking, fantastic. Already connected with a lot of folks, via LinkedIn as well. In terms of learning, if you take a look at the overall, I would say discussion points, whatever has actually been going on, I think it's forward focused, right? It's not just about getting into a conference and talking about the last 15 years of technology. It's about where do you think the technology is going to head in the next 15, maybe 20 years. So it could be, from a learning perspective, it's an eye opener for a lot of folks, because I understand technology from a purely technical realm. There are business insights that are actually coming out, which is like fantastic to see. So it's been eye opening in a lot of senses for me as well.
So even for a person like you who has so much experience, 22 years like you quoted, this is still a good learning platform for you.
Correct. So 22 is since the time I started chasing my dream, right? So yes.
Sure that. So what are the ways that anybody can reach you or your organization?
Yes. Interesting question. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am very privacy focused, so unfortunately you'll probably find my name as Abhilash Gopal without a profile photo, because we wouldn't have connected as engineering leadership. But once we do connect, you'll actually see an old photo of mine and my entire work history as well.
So no profile photo, keep that in mind.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Another very interesting question. How do you think the AI and VR concept is going to transform the educational sector?
Right. So interesting thing is this, right? See, education, the limitation is bound pretty much by what students have access to. That's the most important thing. That is to say, if you provide only textbook knowledge to students, you're pretty much, you call students textbook material, right? So that's exactly where AR and VR plays a key differentiator, because these are more experiential. Imagine if you could study but just by doing practical labs, right? And yes, apart from learning the theoretical aspects of it, but the reality is it's quite harsh in the sense not every school has access to practical labs of sorts. Not every school can actually provide you access to the real world context as well. Like, say, for example, if I am running a class making them understand, say, thermal reactors or nuclear reactors, I really can't afford to take all my kids to a nuclear reactor out there in the field, right? So the field trip aspect is also not possible. With AR, on the other hand, you can actually see molecule at the level that you wanted to see, visualize it. With VR, you can actually have a field trip of sorts of the nuclear power plant, or probably some sort of a research lab that's out there on the Mars as well. So you have greater access to the experiences that you want students to have, and that's because that's the biggest key differentiator, because with that access you can actually have dreamers early on in their career, right? I mean, you can actually think of like a 5th grader trying to take a look at, I know, one of those chemistry labs that Madame Curie actually came up with, and you could see this person inspiring himself or herself to be the next Madame Curie, because they are now able to visualize, not just read. So it sparks a lot of imagination, a lot of dreams.
I think this links back to the advice you were also giving to the youngsters, for
Exactly.
people that start dreaming early on, and I think that's what your technology is aiming to deliver.
Exactly.
So congratulations on winning your award, and
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for your time. It
Thank
was
you
very
so
nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Thank you.